following example illustrates how role plays can be effectively delivered in a virtual classroom. In this case, the large group of participants was broken into teams who were then put into breakout rooms to complete the exercise. The use of breakout rooms makes it possible for the role plays and debriefing to occur almost identically to the way they would in a traditional classroom setting. As always, we have removed our client's name and any proprietary materials from the audio and visual content to assure compliance with our non-disclosure agreement. We would also like to mention that this recording was captured from a live WebEx session, which included several participants using Voice over Internet Protocol, or VoIP, for their audio connectivity. WebEx has since released new versions of their software which has greatly improved the quality of this service.
You're going to have a chance here with one of the hardest pieces, which is objection handling. And that's where we're headed with our team exercise today. So role play through all the use of the tools so that you look comfortable juggling those tools, I think is a great suggestion. And then let's use this objection handling time today to get yourself even more comfortable with handling objections. Why? Well, not because we don't think you can't do it, but because we need to get you to be comfortable transferring this skill down to the contractor, right? Without strong contractors, you are going to keep doing all of the handling of objections. That's no way to grow. So we need you to grow, and you do too. So let's give them an example, right, Dan? Objection on the table, everybody, if you're not looking at your screen, is we still need painters. Now we're using this as an example, a simple example, just to highlight the 4 steps of handling objections. These are the 4 steps that we would like you to use. Those of you who have been through training recently probably remember them really well. For those of you who went through training a while ago, this is a refresh. So we still need painters is the objection from the contractor. The first step is to acknowledge and often to empathize. Sometimes we say, yes, absolutely, and we move on. Sometimes we need to put a little, empathy with it. Yet I hear painters are highly competitive. All right, that's a little bit more of that empathy piece. First and foremost, acknowledge it. Yes, absolutely, we agree with, well, maybe not agree, but we see your point, right? That's the acknowledgement and the empathy that goes with it. The next step is the question, right? We put the question on the table, have you seen our latest choice of colors? Now, granted, this is a closed-ended question, but it does give you a chance, because they say yes or no, but it gives you a chance, no matter which way they answer, to give you an opportunity to open it up and start positioning. If they have not seen your colors recently, okay, now's a good reason to show them, yes, they have seen them recently. Great. The reason why I ask is then you realize, this is the question, right, the positioning question, that we can't match the whole spectrum of colors. You've seen them recently. Yet, we can put a warranty because of that baked-on finish, right? So we can give you a warranty where painters cannot. Spectrum of color, trade off for that warranty. So that's where we're getting into the positioning piece. And then our 4th piece is question it, or check it, to check what we just positioned. And, that's all about, do you know any painters who will warranty, for example, for 15 years? That's one way of sort of checking to see if they agree with you that the warranty certainly offsets the whole spectrum of colors, and also maybe if there's another issue around we still need painters that we have yet to answer for them, this checking question can help us uncover if we've satisfied the objection. So that's an example of the 4 steps. Acknowledge. Empathize when it's appropriate. Sometimes it's not. We just say yes and move on. Question. Well, we're setting this up, right? We ask them a question because we want to uncover how much they know, and we're getting ready to position ourselves, and then, of course, check to see if we've satisfied the objection during that positioning statement. So we're going to have you guys practice this. We've got a nice example up here for you on the screen, and, of course, we're going to give you a guide to help you do it. So to get over the hurdle, or get over the wall, as the graphic here shows you, we want each person on the team to select an objection. We're going to give you a list to play with, okay? Your sponsoring manager, the segment manager out there, is going to play the role of the contractor. They're going to give you the objection. You get to know in advance, so you get some planning here. You get to play that role that you're in every day anyways. What you're going to do is you're going to have 10 minutes to prepare. That's a long time, we know, but we want you to practice the 4 steps as well. So this is a little skill and also some of the language that goes with it. So 10 minutes just to pull yourself together. You're going to utilize that 4 steps, right? We want you to definitely use your 4 steps. Acknowledge, question, position, checking. And what happens is for about 2 to 3 minutes, you go through this dialogue with the segment manager to see if you can actually satisfy the objection that they've had. One thing I would remind you is that if you are not the one doing the role play, take some notes. Be observant. Would you have handled it this way? Yes or no? Just write a little note to yourself because we're going to ask you for some feedback at the end. That feedback comes when the manager debriefs. So what is a role play? That means the manager states the objection. You reply using the 4 steps. The sponsoring manager either confirms that you have handled the objection or maybe you have not, and you continue for a few more minutes. And then the manager conducts a really quick debrief. This is how I would have handled the objection, and the manager will also turn to those of you watching or listening and say, do you do this differently? Anybody have any suggestions for your colleague? So that's how we're going to work this exercise. With that, we're going to give you a handout that kind of walks you through it so you don't have to remember all this stuff, and also the handout has the list of objections that you can pick from. All right, Bonnie, we need that document to file transfer, please.
Okay, it'll show up in just a minute.